Heard my fiancée say her ex will always be the love of her life. She revealed a more shocking truth after I confronted her. Later, she and her family falsely accused me of beating her up. My fiancée, F31, and I, M33, got engaged in October last year and have been in a relationship for 5 years. Everything has been great, and I can honestly say that I've never met anyone who comes close to her. She's absolutely been the love of my life. I've known her most of my life. We grew up on the same street just around the corner from each other. Her mom and dad still stay in the same house, and I stay in the same house I grew up in, which my mom left to me when she passed away in 2014. We still don't officially live together yet, but for all intents and purposes, she lives here. She and her parents are close, though, and she still has her bedroom there and will occasionally spend the night there, but she's never away from here. This morning I decided to go take a walk to the shops to buy some things, and as I was about halfway down, 15-minute walk, I realized I had forgotten my face mask. Masks are mandatory here in shops since the 10th of July, so I had to walk back and get mine. When I walked in the door to grab the mask from the kitchen table, I heard her speaking to someone loudly on the phone in the living room, and she said, "Yeah, but David will always be the love of my life." David is her ex-boyfriend. I don't know a great deal about him, but I know they were in a relationship for 2 years, and it ended a year before we started dating. He also dumped her. I grabbed my mask and walked back out, and just as I got to the shops, I felt weird and had to sit down as my mind was going in 1,000 different directions. I eventually got back home and immediately told her I felt sick and sent her back around to her parents' house as I didn't want her around as I was ill. I'm now lying in my bed wondering what to do, to be honest. I know she didn't do anything wrong. It's not like she cheated on me or intentionally went out of her way to hurt me, but what's heard can't be unheard. She said that the person she's agreed to marry isn't a patch on an ex she's not been with for 6 years. The fact she said he will always be the love of her life also means that it's a void game. Her heart's already been taken, and there's nothing I could ever do to change that. Also, what would happen if he did come back into her life? You can't turn down the love of your life when they come calling, and I'd be dumped quicker than yesterday's leftovers. So how do I navigate this? Tell her I was eavesdropping and heard her say that shit? Just end the relationship for a completely vague reason like "oh, it's not you, it's me," etc. Swallow my pride and pretend I didn't hear it? Everything has been great, but there's no way on this earth I want to be someone's second choice, especially when her ex is the one on her mind that she obviously would be with if she could. I'm thinking about just saying it's not working between us. She's now texting me about coming around tonight and spoiling me because I'm the sickie. Fuck that. Update. I was gonna update sooner, but I've spent the last 3.5 days in a drunken stupor, so my apologies. But I'll warn you, this is not a good update. So after posting and receiving some advice on Reddit on Thursday, I was thinking of telling her to come back around on Thursday night so we could talk, but settled on Friday morning instead as I wanted to get my head in a clearer state. She still thought I was ill, so I needed a bit of time to think through what I was going to say. She comes around on Friday morning at about 8 a.m., and I think she could see right away that something was wrong as I must have looked stony-faced, and you could cut the atmosphere with a knife. Anyway, I said to her that I wasn't really sick and that yesterday as I was going to the shops, I forgot my mask, had to come back to retrieve it, and when I got in to get it, I heard her talking in the other room, about David. Her face went completely pale, and she started welling up, so I instinctively stopped talking and just stared at her. She then runs into the toilet, locks the door, and starts hysterically crying, and alarm bells are going off all over the place in my head. Her reaction made me think she didn't know what I heard, so she must have said some other shit about him as well. I knocked on the door and told her if she has any aspirations of saving this relationship, she had better tell me everything right now. 30 minutes or so go by, and she finally comes out dabbing her face with a tissue and tells me David got back in touch with her 4 or 5 months ago, and she had been sleeping with him once or twice a week since. All I can think of is that the snippet of conversation I heard her having was her friend or something helping her choose between David and me. When I heard this, I hit the roof. I threw her out, grabbed handfuls of her stuff, put it in bin bags, and threw it out the door into the front garden. She's still standing there, by the way. I then grabbed my garden hose and drenched the shit out of the bags with it. I'm not proud of that. It was extremely petty, and in hindsight, I should never have done that. She, at this point, has run around to her house, and about a minute later, her dad comes rampaging around screaming. Her dad and I end up rolling about the now quagmire-ish front garden fighting, at about 9 a.m. in the morning, no less. Police vans and everything ended up turning up, and half the street was out because of the Remy. Afterwards, I blocked her on everything and went to my friend's house, where the three of us spent the weekend, and Monday, they took off work. I'm on furlough, drinking. When I got back in the house this morning, I noticed she had been back in the house at some point, made the beds, done the washing and ironing. I have no idea why she did that. As I'm writing this, she's tried to get in again. I haven't been able to change the locks yet, so I put the door chains on the front and back door and from upstairs heard the door opening and the chains clanging as she tried to get in. There's also a note that she's put through the door. I don't even want to read it right now. I'm too hurt, hungry, and hungover to even think about what she has to say. OP tells what the note said in a comment. The note/envelope had the engagement ring in it and a very sickly sweet letter about how she wasn't ready to give up on us and was gonna fight for me. It's genuinely funny looking back on it now if I'm being honest. Update 2. Sorry for the belated update, but I'm in a bad way right now. I'm half drunk as I write this, so bear with me. Since everything that has happened, things have taken a turn for the worse, as many of you mention I should do. I sent an email to her father, explaining my side of the story and apologizing for taking things public and embarrassing his daughter, but as I said previously, I acted instinctively. I didn't apologize for fighting him as I was reacting to him coming at me. He told me to fuck off and accused me of biting his ear for some reason. So that's what was stuck in my teeth. I'm joking, of course, if you don't laugh. About a week ago, I went outside to find my car keyed right down from the passenger side wing mirror around to the boot. Last Sunday, I was walking down the road to meet a friend at the Arches, a place where we occasionally hang out and walk from an arched bridge, and as I was turning the corner, the local mouth, Gossip, called me a disgrace. I said, "How am I a disgrace?" And she told me that I'm a disgrace for beating up my ex-fiancée. Let's be clear here, I've never laid a finger on her in my life. Either her father, or someone else is perpetuating this lie, and me throwing her shit out and hosing it has given this authenticity. I haven't spoken to my ex, and she hasn't tried to contact me anymore. I think they're all on the same page now, that I'm the bad guy. I've got the ball rolling in putting my house up for sale. I can't live here anymore. I wish I still had my mom to lean on. She would make things better. Sorry for the shit update. Update 3. First of all, I would like to thank everyone who has reached out. I've tried to reply to everyone, and hopefully, this update will help. I am still in my house, but I will be renting it out rather than selling it. I can't, in good conscience, give up something that was my mom's and has been in the family for generations. I have spoken to her father, and I understand why the family circled the wagons, but to throw me under the bus so brutally was genuinely ridiculous. Collateral damage to me and my name is alright, apparently. Only known them my entire life. All in all, I feel like I was in the midst of a shit shower that changed course. Still struggling, but feeling a lot better now that I've got an umbrella and a fucking roadmap. I also would like to note that I posted on social media giving my side of the story. Whether that was right or not is up for debate, but it was after I had let those close to me discreetly spread it first, so I felt the time was right. Her side is still singing off the same him crap, but I'm hoping neutrals will see things from my side. My close pals have been incredible throughout all this, but that's why they're close pals, I guess. Final update. Well, it's been over a year, and I have since moved out of my house and am now renting it to an older couple, so I thought I would update you. I'm doing great and have even got myself a girlfriend, wish me luck. What did I learn? Shit hit the fan fast, but I stood strong, and for the first time in what seems like an age, I'm looking forward to the future. We only get one life, right? Fuck spending it with someone who would treat me like trash.